work on both rib circles and hip circles. So starting with our ribs side to side, sliding side, side. Now we need our ribs front and back. Now the front I like to think of as you're gonna pick a fight, so you're gonna be a bully for this one, pulling your rib cage forward. And you might notice that you aren't as flexible, or you're way more flexible than I am, and it will look different on each body type. But for me, I'm going to move my chest straight in front of me, and for the back, I'm gonna cave in and bring my chest back. So my back will round, and we're going front and back. Let's try that in the mirror. Chest comes front and back. All right, let's connect the dots. We're gonna go side. This is our rib slide to the side, isolating the rib cage from the rest of the body. Side, front, side, and back. Try that a couple times. Just concentrating on getting those corners. And when you're ready, you're going to smooth it out into a nice rib circle. This is one of the hardest things to learn when you're first learning belly dance. But I always like to start with this as my warm-up. And every day I start with rib circles and hip circles. And every day I feel a little bit better about it. Now the hard part, we're going to change directions. Side, back, side, front. Smooth it out for your rib circle. Let's try that to the front. Rib circles this way. And switching directions. Now let's talk about the hips. The hip circles, we're gonna just start with a sway of the hips from side to side. And you'll notice that just what we were talking about before, our weight on our feet is going from side to side. So as I lean my hip over to the side, my weight comes onto that foot, and my weight even comes to the edge of that foot. So it's really great to have those bare feet so you can feel that movement, side to side. So now I'm going to switch to front and back. The front, I'm going to lean my weight towards my toes. So my weight will come onto my toes, and the hips will come front. Now for the back, the weight will come back to my heels, and the hips will come back. Now notice that it is front and back here, but not back here. In belly dance, we want to have a tucked tailbone. So the pelvis turns up, the tailbone tucks under. So it's a continuation of the spine. The spine will be straight all the way down to the tailbone. So you're turning this underneath, bringing the belly button in towards the spine, and as you do that, you can see the tailbone tucks under, and it protects your lower back. So as we're doing our hips front and back, you'll notice that I only really come back to center and maybe a little bit further back because I'm back on my heels. So front and back. Never like that. So let's try our 4 corners. Side, front, side, back. Side, front, side, and back to center. Feeling yourself rolling around through the edges of your feet, and your hips follow. Knees always loose. So now we're rounding out the sides, the edges of our hip circle. And see how far you can stretch that hip circle out to the edges, making a wide, round circle. Let's try this one in the mirror. Circling side, back, side, and front. The tendency here is to cheat one of your corners, and then you end up with this uneven circle. So really think about getting all the edges of that circle. Like you have a hula hoop around you, and you're going to touch all the sides of that hula hoop with your hips. And when you're ready, switch directions. Side, back, side, front. Now, a more advanced movement you can do with these 2 circles is to connect them like a spiral. It's a move called snake in a basket. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to show you the full move first. It's a hip circle that goes straight into a rib circle, and it's going to alternate. So it looks a little bit like the snake charmed out of the basket. Now the way to get this move is to start in this very flattering position, hips forward and chest back. Now this is where you're starting and ending each of your moves. As beautiful as it is, we're going to start with the hips forward around 1 time, and I chose clockwise, so my rib cage will also move clockwise, starting in the back and ending in the back. Hips start in the front and end in the front, and then ribs start in the back and end in the back. Now, if you're still having trouble with your regular hip circles and rib circles, work on that first until you're ready to combine the movement into your snake in a basket. The key with this is to keep it the same direction for your hip circles and your rib circles. So it's a spiral moving up. If it's different directions, it won't look like the same move. It might look good, but not in the same way. So we're gonna go hips, then ribs, as one continuous motion. You can try it both ways. If you tried clockwise, try counterclockwise. And see how smoothly you can transition from one